Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome and thank you so much for joining me tonight on the exclusive and the wonderful and the one and only Talking Sip. This is a Saturday night, 14th of May, 2022. I want to say that I'm going on various platforms tonight. I'm going for the full Monty. This is a trial moment. We took the week off because of some pressing engagements of the past week, and so I said, let me do some testing. And I did some testing, so I'm on Twitter tonight, on Instagram, Silburn TV, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Now, that means to say that you can actually go on to Twitter and you should be able to see everyone. Before, I used to have my phone there, but now everything has come together to somehow make it different. There's something that I need to change here, because for the Talk and Sip, I like to put a different color here. So let me just change the colors here and make it red. There we go. Red. Here we go. Red. Red like blood. Red. And what am I drinking tonight? Actually, I'm feeling just feel like having supplement, believe it or not. And then having water. Nothing hard tonight. Church in the morning. So I'm having some supper gin tonight. Normally with supper gin you put some Guinness or stuff like that, but none of that tonight. Just some supper gin. Heidi, how you doing? We're supposed to be able to let me see. Is that better? That's better. I can see better there. Let me see. And the topic tonight on Talk and Sip is what's my thinking? What the backside this? What the backside this? What the backside this? Talk and Sip Saturday night, what the backside this? Now, what the backside this? What does that mean? What sort of topic is that? Seems like the Talking Sip team want to swear or something like that. Is it? I don't know. But Talking Sip tend to be focused a lot, and the emphasis tend to be a lot on Jamaica. Everybody's from Jamaica, but in different countries. And what we're saying is the different things which are happening in Jamaica. Many things are happening in the world. Don't get me wrong. Many things are happening in the world at this present moment, because Putin is talking about, hey, I want to lick shop on Finland and Sweden. You know what I'm trying to say? Boris is saying, hey, I'm sending all those people coming to Rwanda. But he said, I can guarantee you I'm not sending any Ukrainians to Rwanda. And people are saying, hey, why can't Ukrainians go to Rwanda? As well. Is it a racist policy? Boris Johnson also says that what we're going to be doing is to support Sweden and Finland if Russia makes any move there. So it's like the world is in somewhat maybe deemed as a tailspin, and as a result of that tailspin, maybe taking it to a next level. I don't know. So anything can happen. And as well, the bits about Jamaica is that, one, I thought lockdown was over. I thought the lockdown thing was over. I thought the COVID and all this thing was gone. But hey, I hear that the the NWC people them shut off the water. No water there, Jamaica. The land of wood and water. Well, guess what? The interesting thing about it is that I'm from Ocherias. And I do recall years ago, if there's a problem with water, my father would just go Ochi. We just go down Ochi there and just go bathe, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And we'll carry water for my mother, you know. So we go Ochi down and bathe. And then the air traffic control people also, I think, did a day. I don't know if it's got to do with wages or whatever like that, but maybe some equipments I heard. And then the NHT, they shut down again. And I said, what's going on? And then I heard that next week, they're putting the government on notice, but I believe I saw something whereby the Minister of Finance discussed it with them and they're going to avert that. And then again, we heard that the leader of the opposition with a WhatsApp message going around saying, what is it saying? Saying, hey, let's see if we can organize a lockdown. Turn out to be something dodgy. And now the PNP is saying that I'm taking cases out on all of you guys. Taking cases. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. But on top of that, Robert Nesta, not Marley, a tweet came out today yesterday saying, well, no, I'm taking cases out on all of you to defame my name. So what is going on? So we just say the best thing we could have said is, what the backside is. You know what I'm trying to say? So please remember to like and share the show as well. And for persons who want to come in tonight, the link will be here. And I'll put the link up here again for persons who want to getting on the conversation. And we just go to town with it and just have a interesting evening. It is very important to hear the views of persons, not just myself and not just a team, the regular persons, but everybody can come in. And I can see DP there, like you're ready to get the ball going. Why not? Let's get the ball rolling. If you're here, let's go. Okay. DP, what you doing? In the place to be?
Yeah.
I
think Lester keep on sending me requests, and I don't know if he communicated with you, but yeah, my kind of ups, I decided to just...
No. Whether Lester send the request or not, you just come in and, you have a mind of your own, Lester control you.
No, I'm just saying, he constantly offered me to join, so
Yes. Yes. So, well, you're in early, you're starting the ball rolling early today, you know what I mean? Because you're not in Jamaica, are you?
No, I'm not.
Yes. And that's the beauty about this show here, because we have people who come in from all over the world. You're in Canada or the US? US. Yeah. So what's your what the backside is? I think we have to do a show called "What the Backside Is." What's going on? I don't know if you've been following up what's going on.
I'm not surprised. So it wouldn't get that response from me. What the backside is, because I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised as to what is happening?
And none of it.
Yes. But what why is it like? It's like there was an expectancy of.
Well, I don't know if you know this PNP activist. His name is John Pollock.
John Pollock.
A lot of talk show, and he calls every single one of them. At one point, Dr. Arville Taylor banned him from Hotline, and he's banned a thing from Nationwide, but he goes wherever they accept him. After he lost his leg, he had an accident and lost a leg. And then Taylor lifted that ban. And I heard that, I think last week, he was in another motor vehicle accident where some damage to his arm. But he was pushing this from a couple of weeks back. There's a tweet, I was trying to find it, but I couldn't find it, where he was basically sounding a warning that the public sector are going to strike, and we are going to see a whole heap of them a strike. So, not so.
And this level of strike is because of the frustration and according to how things are running, or because of the cost of living, because that is something which is happening worldwide, isn't it?
So this is my opinion, and I try to be fair, which it don't always work, because I think everybody has a bias. But over the years, I was born 1980, so I can only go off what I've heard. But 70s, 80s, like strike and union is always a tool. You see, they talk about how SOE is one of the tools in the toolkit. Strike is one of the tools in opposition toolkit that rally up the people and who don't want to hear that we want to try to get more money for you. So
Yeah.
even I heard it in your voice a while ago when you mentioned about the traffic authority. Their report said that it wasn't a strike. They did not strike to start with. And then whatever it was, they're saying it has nothing to do with wages. It was the equipment. And I'm like, that's BS. Like, we all know. So over the years, what have been happening, like I say, when JLP is in opposition, they get with the unions and for them side of people and them say, yo, we make up some nice and it always benefit the opposition. Strike only benefit the opposition because the locking down of the airspace, we end up losing over 10,000, maybe more flights to Jamaica. Plus, the airspace is utilized by other carriers, not even landing in Jamaica. So we end up losing money.
Yeah.
The NWC, sorry, Jamaica end up losing money. The government end up looking bad because it seems like it's their fault. But me have some other things, but maybe me make a talk before me bring up
No,
the
no, I'm listening. I'm here to learn because the key thing that you mentioned there about oppositions always benefit from strike, it sort of feed into a particular narrative which is going around because sometimes when I raise it or discuss it with anyone, the first thing they say, I've jail a PNP, I mash up the place. And I said, come on, man, I need to get a serious conversation going. Do we have to start there with says PNP? And then when I saw that WhatsApp messages was going around with Mark Golding, which of course it is denied by Dayton Campbell to say that it is something dodgy going on there. It you said a while ago that it is the opposition in concert or alleged in concert with frustrated workers.
But I would even say it's frustrated workers because, like, all right, 2,000 staff from NWC. I am from.
What are you drinking, man? What are you drinking? You drinking something? What are you drinking? You're drinking spin.
It's called American honey.
American honey. Okay, so and the American honey of all the money, yeah.
It's a whiskey. It's of the sweet flavor.
Okay, you're saying BP, yeah.
So you kind of throw me off asking
Yeah, yeah, go on. Sorry.
What was the question?
No, the question was about the frustrated workers. I was saying frustrated workers.
Yes, I was saying NWC 2,000 workers. I'm from Portland, which
Yes.
Portland records the highest rainfall yearly, right? Yes. And I was living in the town on one of the main street. Portland has two main street, and every Monday and Thursday the water used to go off.
Yes.
So I see somebody tweeted, and I was in agreement with them. Like, there were people in Jamaica that the lock-off never affect. Because there are places where still don't have running water in the pipe. Maybe they have pipe and no water in it. PMP is the pipeline party, so you have places that them they run some pipeline, but no water never reach. So, by people, I can't say it's frustrated people. What I'm frustrated about? Like, we're still in a pandemic, and
are we still in a pandemic? Are we?
We are.
Is that Jamaica or the world?
The world is still in a pandemic.
UK doesn't seem to be like it's in a pandemic.
America mark how much million people died? One? I'm not sure. Last night I was watching news and Dr. Fauci is saying that maybe we have to go to yearly booster to mitigate variants that may come or those that are already here that we don't know of. I mean, they're treating it as a not a pandemic but an epidemic. So it's like more every country try to manage the thing. But as far as I'm concerned, COVID is still here. It's just that people are learning how to live with it.
To live with it and manage it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is my point. I've always said this. I have no sympathy for public sector workers, civil servant, none whatsoever.
Okay.
I have never. The only time I work for government is when we get a contract either to do some video production or some musical stuff or stuff like that. Right? I find it unconscionable for people who, even during the middle of the pandemic, when school was out and wherever was out, these people are still getting the money. Air traffic control, them still did get paid, although not playing, I mean, only commercial, but was coming in. They were still getting paid. So ever since I know myself, I used to sell Wrigley's in Port Antonio Street at age 14.
Yeah.
I've always had to hustle or work for my own. I think it's unfair for some people who they're sure of their paycheck every month to come out and say, me need more money, or me need better wages, or me need whatever. Somebody tweeted yesterday and me agree with him, Rodney, and him say, him not get it how some people stay in some job, public sector, for 25 years, get 2 or 3 masters out of the same job, but still sit in it and complain how unfair the government is. What sense does that make? So those people are annoyed or upset or no, it don't make no sense to me.
That's interesting what you're saying, but that's the NHT people who's well. So you're bringing the NWC,
all of them, every single one. The only one I can exclude, and it's based on what they say they did not strike, is the air traffic. They say it was faulty equipment. However, if I'm working for a company and they give me a vehicle and it need tires, I'm almost meeting an accident. Right? I'm decide say I'm going, which is true. I'm a trained HVAC technician. I just graduated in March and started out 2 weeks ago this company. If they give me a vehicle and I think this vehicle is not good enough, road ready, what them could have tell me now? If make me go in that vehicle Monday morning and still drive it to work.
Yeah.
That they're going to put on tires on them on the vehicle. Are they fix the brakes? No, you couldn't me not forget to go back to work. If I equipment.
Yeah. Lester, how are you? You sound like yeah. What's up, Lester? All right. What's up, Magnum?
Evening, gentlemen. Evening.
Yeah.
Yes, Lester. Please.
Silburn, can you please give me back a close up, please, sir?
You want a close up? All right, close up.
Yes, Silburn, ready for the Evening, Mr. Phillips.
DP, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready for them. What are them? Say ready for them.
Me there. I want the backside this.
It looked like we would have to, it's like going to be a series of show called What the Backside Is, you know. I say Lester, what on? But listen,
yeah.
I tell you, I'm grateful for Lester and they were able to help me to do a test, because people can go onto Instagram now and watch the show fully and see exactly what is going on, you know what I'm saying? But Lester, DP was just talking about saying that all these strike or whatever, I mean, I have no sympathy for any public sector workers and things like that, and opposition benefit from this. You know, what's your take? On Lester, I think you're the Minister of Information. You can tell what going.
No. I thank you for the compliment, but you know, no. That's my honor.
Lester, not Nesta.
Lester. Sorry, I thought it was Lester. Yeah. Sorry,
yeah. You know, Silburn, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate what is happening. Because this, especially the air traveler, the traffic controllers, air traffic controllers, that I know one person who had 10 persons visiting Jamaica and they had to be rerouted to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
That's one person I know who had 10 persons coming in. Right? And these persons were coming to spend at least 3 weeks in Jamaica. So those are 3 weeks worth of money that gone. Right? So it is not the government of Jamaica, in terms of the politicians, they're not the ones feeling it. They're all right, they might get them paid, they might get them perks same way.
Yes.
Right? But the country on a whole loses. Not only that too, the country looks unstable, and foreign direct investors look at these things to say, all right, will I be impaired
in
carrying my goods? Will I be impaired in traveling? Will I be, they look at all these other things. So when people have selfish political motives and think that, we're destabilizing the JLP, no. Because they're a country for everybody.
Destabilizing the country.
Yeah, and when we see hear the voice note and see the the opposition supporting. How can the opposition, which is a government in waiting, supporting, right, destabilization? Because remember, them have got to fix it, if them going to office,
Mm.
And I'm saying, Mr. Person like Damien has certain things, and Mark Golden and some other persons, and I'm like, this is not the way. Even if you empathize with the civil servants, this is not the way. Because come look at Monday or Tuesday when the water lock off, manufacturing was affected, farming was affected, residential activities was affected. So you're not hampering just the JLP, you hamper the society. And NHT people them are protest now. So when the international market look at us, they must say, but it's a mad house.
And I'm waiting to interject because NWC 2,000 people locked down a country of 3 million. What does that say?
But when they say lockdown, I mean, what them do? Them turn off the pipe or them.
Yes, they turned off, so there was no water flowing through the government. I tweeted and asked this is madness. I said, Andrew Oles need to do something. So when I heard that, he called out the engineers, and then even Andrew, the prime minister, like, me did I say, what is this? I said, oh, Andrew Oles said, well, although we have called out, we have deployed the engineers from the JDF, they still can't just go in and think because they wouldn't know what to turn. And I'm like, that is chaos. That is madness. You're telling me that these pumps or valves aren't labeled? And I made a tweet and I said, this is what we should learn from the pandemic. They should have computer technology operating our valve. No man not supposed to figure work 11 o'clock or turn on nothing. I should be able to stay in Columbus, Ohio, because me up on a business trip or a training program and go in on the internet and a secured website and turn on one valve. We can't have people just holding up. To me, it felt like a stick up, an ambush, if you ask me.
Stick up. All right, stick up in there. Stick up in. Let me just bring in the Reverend. Hi, Garry. Reverend, how are you, sir?
Hey, Gaza, how you doing, man? Yes, Silver, man. We're ready tonight, We're ready.
You ready? Garry, you have to repeat. What the show is? What the title name? What the title name for the show?
What? Talk concept?
No, what the Baxide is.
Yeah. Hi, but listen. Just
what are you drinking? What are you drinking, Garry?
Man, the Holy Spirit, man. You have that, man. Holy Spirit.
That's all like I was Jerry, our nephew.
Hey, listen. I want to support. Is what that I have, guys. Pump me up.
Pump me up.
But you know pump me up. Reverend.
No.
No, just pump me up, listen.
I don't know that one's Reverend going bad.
After that, you're well endowed in information in the local space.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
But let me kind of back up what my friend here is saying. I agree with him that there should be some kind of degree of technology coming into play now. By far, I mean, one man must leave him here, go turn top. When it's done all over the world now, in the States, in the UK, wherever, in Netherlands, man stay in yard.
Yeah, JPS no longer in Jamaica. JPS no longer need to send a man go cut off your lights.
No.
It's done from the office.
No, I agree with you, my brother. I agree.
But if one is to, let me just turn on the music here. But if one is to break this down, because demonstrations and protests is a democratic right of people when they're frustrated and so. It happens in the UK a lot. Garry, every day what they're doing in the UK, they're locking themselves on vehicles and stuff like that, on the highways and stopping planes, even though there are new laws that the government has brought in through the Queen's speech to stop people from doing some of these. These guys take themselves onto the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With paint, with crazy
Super.
glue.
Yeah.
You know, because they're talking about issues like the green and anything. You know, I think the train workers recently had a strike, and the government is always opposed to anything because the government speaks about the devastating impact it will have economically, and I think for Jamaica at this time, nothing of this nature can benefit Jamaica, even though at the same time people might be feeling things in their pocket. I mean, aren't people? I heard what you said, DP, earlier. Unless I don't know what you said about this, but aren't people still actually feeling the pinch? But even though they're feeling the pinch, what I'm getting to understand as well is that is like some deals or some discussions did not follow through, and then as a result of that, people are kicking back effect. It's like somebody break the negotiations. Is that so?
No, that's not true.
Okay.
All right. NHT, one of the managers said, give us 5 days to the staff,
Mm.
Give us 5 days. We are in talks with the minister. The following day, NHT go strike. That means that it cannot be about the salary because if your manager, your representative said to you, me not talk with them,
Mm.
hold on a little bit, me talk to them and come up with good or bad news, then we can take action. But
Yeah.
if the following morning you decided to take action, right, without the talks being complete or even start,
Mm.
obviously it cannot be just about salary because your representative has spoken to you. So you obviously you cannot control your people them, right? But also, you see, what is happening is persons are trying to frustrate the talks. Persons are taking things from the talks and say, Nigel not talk to we good. Nigel a be dictatorship. So we are hearing tidbits things, and people are taking these small clips, just like what they do with Kevin Samuels. They take 1 minute and 15-second clip, and people run with it, right? And this cannot be how a modern democracy runs. We have to say, wait, the source it is coming from is not a credible source.
Let me
DP
piggyback.
trying to be on the wire. So DP there, him say, if me send him something, him say, where's the source? Him all tell me that. And which is true. This is how we have to operate when we're especially at this level. And is that we have to say, but where is the source? What is the source?
Yeah. Keep talking. Sorry. Yeah.
So that when we move with intelligence. When we move, we don't sabotage. Because look here, you could have a strike, without shutting down the water system in Jamaica, You could have a strike. You could have a protest, right? Go by Jamaica House then and block up there. You know what I mean? Block the traffic from come in and out. So there's
Cut off
many
the water parliament.
lack of the parliament then. You know what I mean? Lack of the water up at Beverly Hills,
Mm.
right? But
Carry on. Don't let Kevin distract you. Don't let Kevin distract you. You know what I mean?
so
Can't make this up. You know.
I am saying that as a modern society, right? We have to have dialogue where we don't have to be shouting. We don't have to kill each other. We must can have dialogue in a sensible, respectable fashion without disruption. That's all I'm saying.
But
So, like
disrupt.
I was saying, let me piggyback on what you were saying. So, Brian, I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to share with you. I listen to a lot of Jamaican radio. Like when I hear this, man, I send it to some people. I'm like with Barbara Gludon, God bless her soul, rest in peace, Barbara. But when I send it to people, say,
Rest in peace, indeed.
"Oh, you know that already," and I'm like, I only live in America. I listen from I wake up 6 o'clock in the morning. My phone is on something playing out of Jamaica.
Yeah.
That's how I operate. So there was a discussion the other day when the police they were in the negotiation and the government offered the 4%, and majority of the members wanted to accept it, but you had like I think I don't remember what's the number, but you had something like maybe under 200 people voting and said no, we don't want that, we're not accepting it. And when and now give nobody no credence, but it was one of the regular show them in the evening. And when the host asked the chairman said, so what is it that the majority wants? You know what the answer was? We have a set amount of people that votes for whatever. So although, and I heard this, even with the teachers, this was the same thing. A lot of teachers wanted to go ahead and accept what was offered from the finance minister, but the die-hearted PMP them did I say no, we not accept it. Something else was happening now with this, and I heard, I don't know what true it is, so I'm just repeating something I saw somebody tweeting. The whole protesting or the demonstration this week is from misinformation. Somebody is pushing it to say, the narrative to say that, as Lester just said, Nigel Clark do what him feel for do and not bringing people to the table to have a discussion and whatever, some make we strike. I am a businessman, right? I'm a tradesman. The price that I give Lester, I may not give Rev the same price. I see the government as the boss, and them have the handle upon the money. And what happens is they can't bring everybody to the table and make one offer because I believe in equity. So maybe the teacher need more money than the NHT's worker them. I can't say, well, I'm giving everybody 10%. Maybe that would be unfair to the police and the nurses. So some
But
people say,
what are they, man? What the population don't understand is that how the Minister of Education is funded and how NHT is funded is two different things. NHT is a statutory body, is an executive agency. So that they earn an income. Their whole thing is earning an income, right? The Ministry of Education don't earn an income.
right.
It is funded through the central government.
Right. So
Right?
that's what I'm saying. Like every sector is different. So it cannot be everybody, okay, come, civil servant, we're going to give every sector 10% increase. It can't work like that. So you're going to hear 4 over there, so you make your 10 over there. So you're negotiating. So that's the part I mean, understand. Or we reach the point to say we're going to take action because we're not being satisfied. When you even say you agree or you disagree with the offer. It don't make no sense.
Yeah, Garry, I'm listening, and it is coming across with the sort of I don't know. I'm getting a feedback. Let me just do a process of elimination. I think it's from Leicester's side. I mean, I'll go feedback sound. Garry, it is coming across like say things which have national importance as relegate itself down into dog-hearted politics. You know, when people sometimes legitimately have grouses and they have a right to demonstrate, they have a right to withhold their service sometimes to get the powers that be moved. You know, what's your take on that coming through? I mean, and in comparison to with the UK here.
You see, the cost of living, as we know, right? All of us here know that the cost of living in Jamaica is of such that the wages is not really there to address the needs of the family, and that is why people essentially complain and even picket or go on strike
I
because
disagree.
because the cost of living, right? The cost of living is high now. When it comes to like the public servants in various countries and such, and I know each country, it has its own way of doing things and looking after its own departments. But Jamaica is of such, right? I believe, and I've left there for quite a while, so I'm not even. I listen to what's going on and I see, but sometimes it's rather difficult to talk about situations there when you're really not there. We can only just just do a wallpaper exercise really. But I think that for a long time the government, whether it be PNP or JLP, yes, I think for a long time the government or the incumbent government is hasn't really addressed the the needs of the employees, because sometimes again the for instance, going back to the example that is Neville, right? Neville.
DP,
Yeah. Eh?
I'm
DP.
Okay. All right. What DP says, about technology. Has the government really invested in the departments, not only water now, but all of the departments that the government looks after? Has the government invested in each of these departments to bring them up to a level that then they're able to compensate the employees that work there to do what they need to do? Has that really been going on? Because if that hasn't been done, yes, then to some extent the the employees are then to some extent they can then um say they're not being paid enough, but then others can say, what you being paid for? Because your government your your department has not been invested in for you to then operate what needs to be done in that particular area. So I think that there is a problem within investment and then pay. That's how I'm seeing things. I mean, my friend DP, they him disagree, but
Yes.
it's all right, man. You can disagree, but let me hear what your disagreement is.
Okay, so let me say, I disagree, but I agree. I agree to a certain extent with what you said. For example, is my wife let me know last year that I could actually go online and pay for my car fitness, and I didn't know that because I had a car in Jamaica until last December. I went down and sold it. I didn't know that I could go online and just pay for my fitness. Now they bring it up to where say I'm in America, which this happened to me already. I think 2012 it was. I went to Antigua for my birthday weekend, and coming back to Portland in Anata Bay, the police them stopped me. Like I said, it was my birthday, April 30th. I was out of the country, and the police gave me a ticket because my license would expire. Which now or in the future, I can be in America or wherever and apply for the renewal of my driver's license.
Right.
So I agree with you to a certain extent that there are some deficiency, but the part that I really disagree with you is, and I said this to Selburn earlier, the host, I don't agree with somebody, and I talk about relationship on my show, my podcast. Don't sit in a relationship for 10, 15 years and complain that the man not treat you good and the man abusive and whatever. Get out.
Right.
You're not a tree. You
Right.
can't be staying in a sector. First and foremost, I know this everywhere in the world. Government pay the lowest. Private sector pay the most. Right?
Yes.
People do not get government job for the salary. They get it for the benefits and the free holidays, and they can't take off how much days per week. Right? You cannot eat a cake and have it. So we all know this. Police, we know police not get no help on money. We know teacher not get no help on money. We know nurses. But what are the benefits? You have something called traveling allowance where they might get free, whatever. The other day, I got cussed out from some police because they're saying that a police constable is getting $71,000 a month, which is a lie. When you enlist, when JCF accept you to go to training college, you start getting $71,000. The day you graduate, which is what, 8 weeks, you get another 31 on that. That is 102. Plus you start get travel and uniform and whatever, and all of these things. It bump up. So when they come and talking about the government need to do better because them a pay one constable $71,000, that is a lie. We don't hear about the perks and the benefits and all.
Yeah. You're not taking in the full package.
Right. Them just go for the lowest whatever and say, oh, this is what police getting 71. And then the average man now who don't listen want to empathize and say, oh, I eat that thing that. I asked I asked Simon Kraskill this on his show. Me say, listen, would you put one just fresh minted constable? Would you send him going out and get off and go look for one gunman? Him say no. So me say, why I'm in the force for 20 years as a veteran? You think me, I want you to just come out of college to get the same amount of money? It cannot be. But when they're arguing to make the government look bad, them go for the lowest common whatever and say that is what they're paying. So my final point before I allow somebody else to talk. You cannot take a job that you know that the money is maga, it not pay good and complain. Again, I have no respect, not respect, I have no sympathy for civil servant. When I left Jamaica, I was doing news for TVJ, and I was grossing more than $100,000 a month. And all I was doing is one fire go on or one accident, me carry my camera, I'm recording. And that is what I was doing on the side. That was my side hustle. I was teaching music education at 2 prep school. I had my own businesses running in Jamaica. Me never yet one complain and have the what it takes to complain and say, the government no do nothing for me because You're not a tree, you're not planted. Go thing, and this is what they've been doing over the years. Whether it's JLP or PMP, the people them go pack up in the public sector, and then them no say. And I heard this from I think Arville Taylor. The government can't just fire civil servant like that. This is where the IDT come in. If you want to get them out, you have procedure where you have to follow. And if you breach it, the teacher can run, and still get compensated because you never follow the channel. So people who in the system know this something else. I'm going to say when I say finally, where PMP benefit from the 18 years, pack up the public sector with feed them people them. And we're feeling anyway.
Well, just to let you know, I did put an invite out to the UIC, a representative from the UIC that may come on and to share their views and their perspective. Because one of the things that I love to hear is person's perspective as to how Jamaica is moving forward, because the high rate of inflation is happening worldwide. So it's not something new to any particular nation. And I do hear the bits about that striking and stuff like that benefit the opposition. So are we trying to say then, or are we alluding that the opposition is orchestrating it, or it is just that they are benefiting from it and they are fueling it?
Well, I'm DP, you thought DP. DP, I said nothing DP. I said no.
I want to repeat that.
All right.
That's all I was going to say. Conspire.
Okay, let's say.
The answer is yes. They have benefited from it, but we have seen that they are putting in actions. They have their people in place that they have called to arms, right?
Figuratively, figuratively to arms.
You can say that. They're called to arms. That's right. I stopped there. But let me backtrack on something what the Reverend, the Honorable Reverend has said. Reverend, you see this poverty and sufferation that people are always, especially people in the diaspora, keep saying, oh, Jamaicans are suffering. Jamaicans are having it hard. Right? No, we are not seeing an increase of regular people. I mean, like regular working people living on the streets, right? In a country like the United States, you have that. You have people who in a regular job who live on the street. You understand me? I don't know about the United Kingdom. I can speak for here in Holland that we don't have that. We have shelters for them. But what I'm saying is that it's a myth. You have a few persons, yes, that are having it rough, but that is based on lifestyle choices, right? Now, Jamaica is one of the few countries in the world that you can have zero education and you can become really well off, right? I know taxi men who own taxis, and they don't have a driver's license.
Are they driving
it? Them drive it and then buy other car. Right? And them people are drive for them. I know men who start selling from one bag of bag juice. He died, he used to sell across in a Kingston. He died about 3 weeks ago. My father had an employment agency. We gave him his first job as a chef, as an assistant chef, right? And he left it after a week, buy a bag of bag juice, 1 dozen bag juice. He turned it into a juice empire. Bought a house and said him to go to college and a foreign and everything. No education. Now, I was saying this to somebody 2 days ago. Persons in the inner city who are having it rough. They're lazy and I have no sympathy for them. None. No light, no water. In terms of payment, them not pay, for the most part. Get up people not pay light and water for the most part.
Or mortgage.
And then not pay rent, nor mortgage. Right? So what are you doing with all that money that you're not spending in terms of overhead costs, in terms of utilities? What are you doing with it? And I have lived in several ghettos. I have lived in several other parishes. And I'm telling you, especially if you live in rural Jamaica, you can make it. I mean, you can live comfortably, right? It is your lifestyle choices. Now, let me go back to the technology thing. Right, is that St. Vincent or is that Grenada?
That's Ocherius. That's
Oh,
Ocherius.
sorry. So I didn't know it was the Republic of Ocherius. Is that Syria? But now, to the point of technology, what the Honorable Reverend have asked. Let me tell all Jamaican people stay. We have the government of Jamaica has just completed the biggest and the most equipped state-of-the-art fire station, right? DP, I don't know if you see it, DP, the pictures of it.
Yeah, man, make it info.
All right.
Yeah.
When you look under the comments, you could have used the money there and pay the fireman them better. These are the things that people are saying.
All right. I hear what you guys are saying, and I want to get some different perspective because I sense sympathizers in different ways. As I said, I put out a voice out there for other sides of the coin and different parties. I want to bring in Mr. Patterson from the UIC. Let's. I think I'm getting a feedback from you there. Let me just.
Selburn.
Yeah.
Can I want something to Rev, which ties in with what Lester said before you bring in Mr. Patterson?
Let me just say hi, good evening, good afternoon, Sir Patterson. How are you?
Good afternoon. Fine, thank you. How are
Fantastic.
you doing?
Oh, we're not bad. We're not bad. Let me just so what you're saying first.
Rev, let me bring you up to date. So the same people them who don't have it and they get a thing, they're now using Ensure to just pray in females' throat in dances. That's a new thing in Jamaica now.
Yeah, I need to go back to that later.
Ensure.
That Ensure thing. I saw something going on. I don't know what's going on.
All right. The same people that were the other day was saying they couldn't buy chicken back. Now I've Ensure a pour down.
All right.
Pour down woman's face, and if the school is reaching the school, Selburn, you haven't seen the photos or the videos?
I see a video with a doctor said something about, but let's come back to that. Sir Patterson, Joseph Patterson, who is the president of the United Independent Congress. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, thank you. It's quite interesting listening to the conversation before you chipped over to me.
Yes.
Looking forward to participating.
Yes, I said I send you the quick invite out because I send it out to everybody all the while to just get your perspective as to the topic today, which is what the backside. What is going on? Because people are hearing that water gone, airport gone. I mean, I'm just over exaggerating, of course, and different things going on there. What's your perspective? So, what's happening from your side?
Yeah, I mean, I think story come to mom. You know, the Prime Minister promised Jamaicans prosperity. He was going to take us out of poverty, but more and more Jamaicans are seeing that their financial positions are being eroded at an alarming speed. You know, the purchasing power of the average Jamaican has gone down by 25%. They have seen the learning loss in their children from the Prime Minister's inappropriate policies during the so-called crisis, and they're just fed up, you know. And we also have the opposition playing games as well. So it's a whole mixed bag going on at the moment. But the bottom line is, the Prime Minister, the government, has failed to deliver on the things that the Jamaican people expected. And once again, we're going through this turmoil, which would normally result in the Jamaican people electing the other side of the PSOJ coin. Because I say that because every Jamaican should know by now that whether they elect PNP or JLP, they're really just electing the PSOJ oligarchs. And they're the ones that control what happens in Jamaica. They dictate what the government does because the government is funded, the parties are funded by the PSOJ oligarchs. And so Jamaica is in a bind right now because what they're used to voting for is not panning out. And so the media continues to block the UIC so the people are not hearing a lot from us because, you know, if the media isn't covering what we have to say, then the people can't hear it. And some people know about us and some don't, but they're fed up. They're not prepared to vote anymore for either of the two parties. And that's putting them in a very stiff position.
Can I just, and I want to open this up. There's the view that the oppositions benefit from these sort of demonstrations. I'm hearing a lot of feedback. I don't know where it's coming from.
It's Lester, man. Lester need a better phone.
Is Lester need to get a phone?
I'm not seeing you guys, by the way. No. Can you change the screen so I can see all of you? I'm
Oh,
I'm seeing everybody. So
we're seeing all of you. Everybody's
Okay, I'm just seeing a screen with a vehicle in it with the bottom title.
Oh, that's Leicester's vehicle. That's Leicester's vehicle.
Oh, okay. Okay. No.
Is it gone now? Is it gone now?
Yes, it's gone now. I can see you all loud and clear. Wonderful.
We had Ochorius and we had Leicester's hometown.
Let's see if it says something in there. You ever say something, man? You can't let them just do you something.
The honorary president is talking, so.
Go ahead.
In terms of the opposition benefiting, it's no secret right now that the opposition has not been an opposition for the last 2 years. It has really been an extension of the government, supporting either directly or indirectly much of the policies that we have seen. And so the Jamaican people have come to expect that the other side will not present anything meaningful to them. The real dilemma for the Jamaican people right now is that the media and the PSOJ and the two leading parties have colluded to prevent the Jamaican people from hearing from and seeing the alternative, which we have taken the time to get properly registered. But the Jamaican people can't hear from us because on the nightly news, they hear what is the PNP's position, what is the GLP's position, and hear nothing about the UIC. So I think we have to pressure the media to be objective, to be unbiased, and somehow start to practice, good journalism. Once again, I wish we had Mutty Perkins here now, because if Mutty was here in Jamaica, we'd hear a different story. But unfortunately, we don't have it.
I was gonna do that laugh. No, listen, Joseph. I agree with you. The other day, I even made a comparison of Mutty Perkins and Kevin Samuels, the late Kevin Samuels, whereby sometimes you need those voices at times to challenge the status quo. And I've always asked this question, guys. Why all the while we are hearing what the other parties are doing, or we are not hearing from UIC? Were you invited to the diaspora launch?
No, we were not invited to the diaspora launch. We were not invited to the prayer, the big prayer thing they have every now and again. We are even excluded from
prayer breakfast
debates. Sorry?
The prayer breakfast?
Yeah, the prayer breakfast. So, mind you, I think it's a waste of time. But generally speaking, the UIC is not invited to anything of national import or anything at all. It's as if the UIC does not exist as far as the whole societal design is concerned, even though we are duly registered as Jamaica's third official political party. We're silenced by the media.
Well,
Mr. Patterson?
Yeah.
Mr. Patterson?
Yes, sir.
That notion that you just brought across on the panel, that you're silenced by the mainstream media, right? It's utterly unacceptable, sir. This day, and Silburn can attest to this, that we are the media. You don't need mainstream media. You don't. What you need to do.
Hold on. If you're saying that it is okay for those who claim to be the media establishment in Jamaica not to broadcast the UIC's position, then my friend, you're a part of the injustice that I'm talking about.
No, but I did not say that, sir.
Right, so there's no point for you to say that we don't need, because the Jamaican people wake up every day to CVM and TV, and they are watching. And they are saying, they're writing to me, and they write on Facebook, how come we don't see you on the nightly news? 7:30, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. There's no visibility at all. If rain fall too hard in Montego Bay, you see Mark Holding, they tell you what he's doing. You see Andrew Holness, they tell you what he's doing. You see nothing at all about the UIC. We raise our hand, we write press releases, we do all kind of stuff to get the media's attention, and they simply ignore the UIC. Now, is that democracy?
Okay, let's take a pin there. Welcome, Venessa. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine, and I totally agree with Mr. Patterson. In coming on, it is known that the PNP and the JLP have been systematically trying to flush out and frustrate independent candidates and third parties systematically, to the point that what they do, if you start a third party, they infiltrate it,
Yes.
they get into the system and they break it down, or ever so often they send out one or two of their members, they start a third party knowing that it's going to fail, just to put delusion in the people and to confuse the people. They have systematically sidelined and sidestepped both of them. None of them are better than the other. So Mr. Patterson is quite right. And I'd like to remind you that there was one stage when Jamaica was ruled by all independent candidates, and there were no parties in Jamaica. So I don't know why Jamaica has gotten into this dawn where they're thinking that PNP and JLP is a solution. I mean, they have been abusing us for years, both of them.
Okay, let's stick a pin right there. Ladies and gentlemen, what are you all drinking? Venessa, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking some water.
Don't worry, drink water. You're not minding your own business, though. You're drinking water.
No, tonight I'm very meddlesome.
You're meddlesome. Well, listen, ladies
Yeah,
and gentlemen,
I'm not minding my own business.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining me on Talk and Sip. I've got with myself today Mr. Joseph Patterson, the president of UIC. We're making sure from the diaspora that he has a voice. And I need to make it very clear here now that your voice is not silent, but we are amplifying it. We're amplifying it, you know?
Thank you. Thank you.
Vanessa is here from the UK. Lester is Netherlands. DP is in the USA. My good friend Reverend, who is here to make us sure that we are praying and we are in line with the Holy Spirit. So in Manchester, UK, and myself in London, straight out of Ochi at the same time. Venessa, I like when you came in striking. And I want to bring in DP on that point where Mr. Patterson is saying that the mainstream media, we know they are, you said it earlier, DP, you are linked in to mainstream or what is coming out of Jamaica. Are you getting any information about the UIC when you wake up and you stream into Jamaica?
Not on a regular basis, but I've heard him several times, and I've heard the platform being given to him. I was waiting to say this. As a media practitioner, I worked for TVJ for 6 years. I think, Mr. Patterson, with all due respect, you're just making excuses. We're in a time and age now, and how the media operate. Remember that the media is privately owned, right? Man, dog bite man, that don't sell. It's man bite dog. Right now, mainstream media, and all over the world, the CNNs and the BBCs and all of that, they're playing catch up with social media.
True.
So if you are the president, it is free to be on Facebook, it is free to be on Twitter, it's free to be on YouTube. If you are the president and you had something of substance, people would find you. Kevin Smith had something of substance. That's why so many people was following him. Whatever.
I disagree. I disagree with you.
No. Let him.
Because I don't see why there should be an exception.
Vanessa, I was saying let DP finish his point and then.
Thank you very much, moderator. No, I intentionally not Kevin Samuels. I don't reach Kevin Samuels yet.
Oh right, okay. My apologies. Kevin Smith.
I was thinking him when Selberg mentioned him. No, Kevin Smith, the cult in Mobile.
All right.
It's alleged that he had JDF officers amongst him. It's alleged that on the Sunday night, JCF officers fired at the police for him. The point I'm making is, if you have something, you're going to get attention. People will find you. But if you don't have nothing to really, what you going to say? The same thing when Mark Bolden going to say, which is against the government? I'm just saying.
Are you saying, as somebody who is in the journalistic fraternity, that you're equating a national political party to a cult movement?
No. Maybe you missed the point.
Are you saying if we don't have?
Maybe that's what we have now. We have PNP and JLP as cults.
Absolutely,
Maybe they are cults.
No,
so he's right.
Let me try Let me provide clarity to my statement. I was not comparing. There was no comparison. I made a statement because guess what? I didn't know nothing about Kevin Smith until when everything did bust out. But he had followers and he had people who was willing to take whatever. When it was announced that the pandemic came and we're going to have the first shutdown in Jamaica, Kevin Smith told his congregants that they need to come and pay 100,000 to stay in the ark because of whatever reason, and people paid the money.
Hold on. I think you need to calibrate your thoughts a little bit.
You know something?
Let's talk about
Venessa, let Joseph speak and then you speak, Venessa.
Let's talk about what we're talking about here. The UIC is simply a registered political party. The UIC is on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of that. We have a following. What we're talking about now is unbiased journalism. What we're talking about are traditional media, television, waking up every morning, and what they say is, let's say we have a problem. Whatever the problem is, problem A, they say to you, Mark Golden of the PNP has this to say about problem A. So the government has this to say about problem A. Full stop. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about sensationalism. We're not talking about doing some kind of outstanding, something weird that people are going to then follow and talk about. We're talking about the media simply reporting the news in an unbiased way. Why not tell the people what the UIC has to say? For example, we recently had the issue of going into a republic. The UIC has a very, very distinctive platform about being a republic. We have very clear differences from the PNP and the GLP about being a republic. The media is aware of what we're talking about. And not once did they report that or ask us to say one thing about it, even though it was quite different from the other two. Are you saying that it's fair and balanced?
But the media is not about being balanced. As somebody that was in it, I'm telling you, you're saying they haven't asked you your perspective. And Lester said it, and I'm going to say it again. What you need, well, I'm not going to tell you what you need to do. All I'm saying is, and I've seen this, I've worked election. Anytime the opposition or the government start blaming the media, that's when they lose the election. And I've seen it several elections.
Okay. So what you people do? You've made several statements here, the last one you made, you say when the media are the leading or the opposition starts blaming the media, that is when they lose the election. For me, I think that it is known. The media is an extension of Jamaica, of Jamaicans and their attitude to not having a third party. They too are an extension of the two political parties by virtue of infiltration, the fears of the journalists. The journalists too are afraid, they are human beings. And if you live in a society where you can always laugh, because sometimes you're just like the people in the political parties who have become so accustomed and acclimatized to the culture that they fail to see what they are or are not doing. Mr. Patterson is saying that there is selective reporting where you go to the other two parties, but you will not come to him on certain things where you give precedence and news is reported a certain way. And on another note, you are probably just a reflection of the society. And you said that they go to Kevin Smith and they go for all the sensationalism and so on and so forth. And there is social media. So why is it that the PNP and the JLP is given precedence when it comes to mainstream media and not when it comes to social media? Everybody knows that when you're building a political party, the media is part of the political engine. Okay. And they have their henchmen everywhere, those two parties. And Mr. Patterson's party, there's no henchmen because there's no sweets or anything from there, or no glory or no thunder rolling. They're nothing as far as they are concerned, because you people, the media and the people of Jamaica and the politicians make it that way because you have chosen to stick to your abusive partners of JLP and PNP.
Okay. Venessa, let DP speak now, and then I want Lester to come in, and then Garry says something. Yeah.
So you ever heard of this singer called Gully Bob Selburn?
I did an interview with him from the morning to the gully. He's my most viewed show.
That is where I'm basing my argument on. Gone are the days when an artist needed what the big name record company them name. Now you have record company finding artists after them have them followings and after them see the potential. You don't go to a company and say, you know, I can become the biggest, or the next Sean Paul or the next doctor, whatever Shaggy is getting. So to be sitting here in 2022 and blame
Mr. Patterson was recently arrested.
I don't have to do this.
Mr. Patterson, he was recently arrested, so that threat is there. You see, and the journalist who side with him.
So the mainstream did not cover his arrest.
Of course they did. They cover anything they can find with a negative spin.
Can I finish my point? I would like to finish my point.
Help to drive.
Venessa, sorry, Venessa, I muted at one point. Sorry, because I wanted to get DP to finish. Say DP.
So as I'm saying, to sit here in 2022 and blame the bias, self-centered, whatever, sold out, corrupted media, I think if you had a message, something that it was of substance, go utilize whatever platform you have and forget, because guess what? It is going to become obvious if you're so, and now I'm going to bring in Kevin Samuels the late. He was viewed more than CNN or even the what I'm calling the award the other day show where Will Smith boxed on whatever. Kevin had thousands of viewers every single night. He did not need the mainstream medias. So that's all I'm saying. If you're going to utilize whatever opportunity you get outside of your platform and blame TVJ, CVM, Nationwide, RGR Communication Group, I think you're just you're barking up the wrong tree. That's why.
DP, let me ask you a question. Have you ever taken the time to wonder why is it since 1944 until now, only two political parties have been able to dominate the political scene in Jamaica?
No, I'm going to answer you and tell you that I think that is by design, just like America. Third party don't success or independent success in America.
Why is that? Forget about America. No, forget about America. Talk about Jamaica. What is the design?
What is the design? That is why they pattern America in everything in Jamaica.
No, forget about the pattern. What is the design in Jamaica that is causing third parties not to exist here?
All right. First is misinformation and lack of education. Because I'm going to tell you this. I did not know that whether it's on the local level or even in parliament, if you elect an independent, they get all the allocation. I did not know that. That was taught to me maybe 20 years ago. So a lot of Jamaicans, which you know this, is 37% of the voting populace voted the last election. There are people who don't know that, listen, I can vote for JLP in local and PMP in general. Those things were shared with me in Fairy Hill. This lady told me, she said, I am a staunch, let me finish. I am a staunch PMP, but I vote local because me love what my councillor do for me. A lot of Jamaicans don't know that. So they think that the only time they can benefit is by having a ruling party in power as their MP.
Let Mr. Patterson speak here.
So basically, BP, you don't understand why then. Let me tell you why. Let me explain it to you why. So in the 1930s, Marcus Garvey formed the very first political party in Jamaica called the PPP, the People's Political Party, the very first one. Shortly after he formed that party, the PNP came on the scene with the blessings of the colonial masters. After that, the JLP was formed out of the PNP. And the two parties, the JLP and the PNP, together with the support of the colonial masters, ensured that the Marcus Garvey People's Political Party, which was very popular, was crushed. And Marcus Garvey was pushed out of Jamaica. Now, subsequent to all of this, from then until today, the establishment, the political elites, the oligarchs, funded the two parties. Now, Jamaicans are not a part of funding political parties. They've been cultured away from funding political parties. That's the preserve of the colonial masters. So the people of Jamaica think they're voting between two sides, but the oligarchs who fully funds the activities of these two parties, fund their campaign, fund their activities in the grassroots level, fund everything. They're the ones who determine who is going to be presented before the Jamaican people. A candidate who cannot communicate with the Jamaican people, cannot overcome the funding of the private sector organization of Jamaica, the oligarchs, the major companies, the big banks, the big retail retail companies, the big organizations, insurance companies.
Question for Mr. Patterson.
If you can't, DP, if you can't overcome that expenditure or find a model,
hold
One second, DP. Yeah.
or find a model, or find a model to beat that, you have a problem. Now, the UIC, for the first time in the history of Jamaica, has been able to break that cycle somewhat by having Jamaicans now, ordinary Jamaicans here at home and abroad, to be donating in earnest to a new fledgling, if you will, political movement. Now, that is the reason why we have not had a third party, and that is what we're fighting against. Now, you, in your assessment that you have just made, which is an unfair assessment, a biased assessment, an assessment not grounded in fact or reality, your assessment is now based on the misunderstanding that people have and that you are propagating to suggest that third parties simply don't exist because of their message. It is because of money. Money is what drives politics.
I have a question for Mr. Patterson. Mr. Patterson. When you were to form the third party, right? Well, hold on then. Let me ask him something. It's not a speech, it's a question. When you were to get your party registered, what hurdles did you have to go through to get their party registered, and how many years did it take you? One and two. How different is it? And how easier is it for the existing parties to get campaign financing from the existing system, and as opposed to you? Because these things are governed by laws.
Absolutely.
How is the laws for you or against you? I want to know.
First and foremost,
Mr. Patterson, before you start to speak, let me just put that. You're going to respond to that, and then I'm going to go to Lester and Garry to come in on a question I want to ask. Okay? And then come back to DP after that. Yeah.
So up until 2018, there were no regulations per se for political parties up until 2018. So all of that time, the two traditional parties have had a free-for-all to do whatever they want. In 2016-17, their colonial masters gave them rules. They have a plan for Jamaica's politics. It's a plan that will see the taxpayers' money being taken by the two major parties. You don't see it yet, okay? You don't fully see the plan. I see it. I can tell you this. So what they did, they brought in laws in 2016-17, which were then passed and brought into the books in 2018, which now made all political parties null and void. You had to now apply to become a party under new rules and regulations. That immediately wiped out the MG, the Marcus Garvey PPP, the little one that was still there, wiped out the NDM, wiped out everybody, including the UIC, which was already formed in its own way as a non-profit organization. They wiped out all of that. Then now in 2018-19, the UIC started. We put together, did all the work. We went out, got all the membership that they required. We raised 1,300 members. We raised the money that they said we should raise. We filled out all of the forms they said we should fill out, got all of the different pieces, auditing and whatever, sorted out. And then we came in 2019 February and made our application. They thought when we came in that we were asking what the process was. They didn't realize we went and just studied what they said and did all the work. They were shocked. And we said, no, we're not coming to ask you. We're not coming to ask you. Hey, see it here. And we give them the big folder with everything. They're like, whoa. And then now they start to pick it apart, send us around in a loop and a circle and a loop and a circle. And we just came back and we came back and we came back and we came back. And we fought for 10 long months. Mr. DP, he even got a little stint on radio and I make up a big fanfare, and they gave me a little interview, which then showed that the two, the people on the commission were partisan. The JLP and PNP are the very persons on the commission, a bipartisan.
And the law says that they must come from the two parties by virtue of the construction. The law says the JLP and PNP must be, but nobody to represent the third parties.
Exactly, no representation from third parties, fully stacked by the PNP and the GLP. And the Prime Minister is the one that appoints the commissioner at the top. So they know how it's there. So they worked hard to prevent us, but we fought back until they had to relent. The moment they relented, they were about to call the next election, another third party was approved in 2 weeks. 2 weeks to create the confusion in the marketplace so that people would say, oh, which one are the independent, a UIC or JPP or what that, but we're done with it. We're going back to where we come from. That is the kind of things we have here in Jamaica. And we have people like DP and others who allow them to get away with this instead of coming here and fighting for the Jamaican people to say it's
But
time.
Mr. Patterson, I'm not sure if I'm going to take up for DP. No. I don't sure DP allowed, I think he does not understand it.
Okay,
The media sometimes it's like they are trained in media, and I mean I've roughed them up to start with. But let me tell you something. They don't have the in-depth understanding. I could ask you this question because I remember some years ago through Mr. Silburn Sildial and facilitators for a Better Jamaica. When this law had come in, I was doing some research for the facilitators for Jamaica, Better Jamaica, and I phoned the Electoral Commission to ask them, why have you put onerous conditions on the third parties to have X, this amount of members, this amount of something? And they said, the lady said to me, well, anybody could set up 2 parties and take off with people's monies because they are going to get funding. But I said to her that those procedures that you've put in the law are there to block and frustrate independent candidates and third parties, right? And that is why those procedures have been put in place.
Absolutely.
The only 2 people who have set up and taken off with people's monies to the point that the whole civil service is crashing, the garbage collection, the roads, are the PNP and the JP, not a third party. So why are these onerous provisions being put there to frustrate them?
Good point.
This is why third parties will never win in Jamaica, because the system frustrates them.
No, DP. I know you want to come in, but I got to get
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay. 30 seconds DP, because everybody was addressing you. And then I'm going to Leicester, yeah.
And what you saw a while ago is going to piggyback on what it said to Mr. Patterson. When I heard of you first, I was planning on giving you my vote to fly to Jamaica to say, yes, let's try and make a difference. But on your own admission and what your supporter just saw a while ago, I'll be wasting my vote.
I'm not a supporter. I'm a Jamaican. I'm not a member or supporter of
the next
party.
thing is you mentioned about money and saying the British people them on the control and they want to. All I heard from you was just, if I vote for you, I'd be wasting my vote. And you know what to do: earn money, buy your time. You can buy slots in primetime news and CVM Wake Up Morning, so you don't have an excuse, sir.
Mr. Patterson, hold on, Mr. Patterson, we're gonna come back to you on that point. But Lester, let me put you. I know you want things to say, but I'm gonna put this to you and Garry. Don't you think it is unfair for a third party like Mr. Patterson, when you have major events in Jamaica like the diaspora launch, when you got major things in them like breakfast, prayer breakfast, he's not invited? When you got big things happening, the mainstream media, even though they're privately owned, do not approach Mr. Patterson to say, what is your view? Because today, my thinking here is this: I would have wanted somebody from the PNP to give their official position as to what are going, what the Baxide are going. I would have wanted somebody from the JLP to give a position as to what the Baxide are going. But I reach out to also Mr. Patterson, what is going on? And he has come on to share what is going on from his perspective. Don't you think that is fair if you take away your green top? Lester. Oh, sorry. Are you muted? Well, one second, Lester. I don't know why I'm muted.
Who's put him in jail?
He's always.
First of all, what Venessa said is completely false. The public is not.
You're a politician.
The public sector is not crashing, is not falling down. That is not true. Anyway, let me answer Silburn question. Silburn, the media has no responsibility to promote UIT or JLP or any other party. They carry the news that they see fit, right? Remember, the news of an editor, you know. So what they choose to carry on their platform, it is the prerogative of these stations. These are private entities, right? Now, let me go further. When Barbara Gludan died, so many persons, you know what they said? The first thing that when they heard, they rushed to my page, right? Why aren't people rushing to the UIC page when certain things happen in the society? Why is it that people looking for the UIC in droves? If the UIC was that good, if you were effective in your messaging, if you were effective in what you were saying and selling to the Jamaican people, you wouldn't have to be crying for attention. No, an invite don't have to be extended to you for any event at all. It don't have to be.
Listen,
Right?
no. For the prayer breakfast, sorry, let me stick a pin on that one because there are two strands I put out there: the media houses and official things. I mentioned the diaspora
Yeah,
launch, and I
and I'm
mentioned
and I'm
also prayer
answering that.
breakfast.
And I'm answering that. I'm
Okay,
answering that.
yeah.
No, UNC position is the prayer breakfast, right?
It's waste of time.
It's a waste of time. So it shouldn't be an issue if they're not invited.
Yes, the government must waste the paper and send a letter.
I don't see the issue why it was even mentioned at all, right? But what I'm saying is that UIC can keep your own prayer breakfast, right? You know, have
Why
to
should
wait.
they when the other two are there? Why should they do everything on their own when PNP and JLP catch up into everything?
Because this will be yours. This will be better. The
They
UIC
are being excluded from formal strictures
Mr.
that
Patterson,
other people
Patterson,
are part
I
of.
want
It
you to just
shouldn't
stay
be.
right there and just listen what's going on. You stay right there, and listen.
I am saying,
I want to bring in Garry after this. Yes.
instead of fighting and begging to be accepted, you have the power now to create your own platform, to create your own.
Discriminate.
You
Different
don't
rules for different
have to,
votes.
you don't, but Vanessa, you have to listen sometimes, Vanessa. Please. Right? You don't have to want to be invited to that man thing and that man thing. Keep your own dance.
All right. Okay. Okay. Let's Mr. Graham, Reverend Garry Graham, bring some. What's your thoughts on this, sir? Garry, why you're not muted?
Sorry.
Yeah.
My thoughts. If my thoughts, I don't think my thoughts worth anything at all, you know. But let.
They want prayer.
What I feel sorry for Mr. Patterson. I mean, I think what I see happening globally is what's happening in Jamaica.
Thank you, sir.
Now, in okay, somebody there didn't want to bring in America or the UK.
Mr. Patterson.
I know it's Jamaica, and I understand that, but let me tell you this: it's like in America, you've got several like CNN and Fox and such. Now now they're run by human beings that will automatically, to some extent, whether they want to or not, they will side it up with a political leaning. And I think that in Jamaica, over the years, PNP and JLP has run the show. And it is quite difficult. It is quite difficult for another party to kind of want to come in and do and say anything to upset the apple cart where that is concerned. It's going to be very difficult for Mr. Patterson to be doing that. Even though I agree with what DP and Gaza says by saying that he needs to do something on his own so that people will see and hear him. But at the same time, I think that it's going to be very difficult for that to happen when you have the TVJ and JBC and all of them, all of the media out there, that if they're not with him, if they don't agree with him, they're not going to do anything for him. They're not going to stick up for him, and it's going to make even his work harder. Now, what he explained there in regards to the makeup of the political system from Garvey's time all the way through, and I've learned something from him when he was explaining all of that. I believe that it really is going to be difficult for any political party to ever want to come up to help Jamaicans, because listen, there are powers that we don't know of. There are powers behind the scenes that is pulling the strings. Because even in the United Kingdom or even in the United States, now I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not that. I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, right? But there are powers that be that if they want something to go through, it's going to go through. If they don't want it to happen, it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really. Do you
Like how
think
the opposition want the strikes out of Jamaica now because they have been in government long enough and they have their people everywhere. And I
Yeah.
just feel that this is my feeling.
No.
That I just feel that there's
Was
some
Garry
kind of
finished?
orchestration.
Was Garry
it's
finished?
all
Was
right?
Garry finished?
No, that's okay. I mean, that's all right. Let her talk.
Reverend, I feel that there's some kind of, because you know this election, I remember I'm going through the series. I was in Jamaica. I was across the road at Madazabaya party, a Kalalu party. Then I heard that the COVID numbers are up, right? And then the next day was election. Everybody know Jamaica people afraid of COVID more than the rest of the world. So the whole of we at Jamaica go underneath to bed. You know, and I would decide, so we're not going to vote. Even the public defender, it was on the air, this is public, went out and said that the constitutional rights, freedom of movement is being affected because of the COVID laws and the mindset of the people. They weren't ready to vote. When them saying we go to bed, you know, you see when them saying we go to bed, it's the next man who wake up, the whole island green, right? And the civil servant, them sit down there now and wait for them like, when you see Kalalu and Oloman and swear for Kalalu. The next thing, the Labour Right Party, they've got G2K, which is a youth arm. And it has been rumored, I don't know, I can't confirm, that when they are in power, they have to look after the youth arm. So there's some kind of mischief making structurally in the civil servant because it's the main employer to get rid of a party. And the two parties do it to be in fact. When you come in, you get rid of this civil servant and you get rid of that one, and because your party members and all of that is playing a role in this structural reform and the whole election and the whole thing, all of that playing a role in what's going on, mischief making. So Mark Walden didn't have nothing to say. All quiet, so what?
All right, let's
outside. I want.
Sir Patterson, you come back to you for you to
Sure.
close it off. Yeah, for this segment.
Yeah, no problem. I heard somebody said that they're sorry for me, but really we should be sorry for Jamaica.
No, Jamaica is in a good place.
Because hold on, a DP, hold your horses, man. So there's no need to be sorry for me. We should be sorry for Jamaica because let's look at the facts. For the 78 years of these two political parties, the value of our dollar has gone pretty much one direction. For the 78 years of these two parties, the crime rate for the nation has gone generally in one direction. For the 78 years of these two parties, we have seen a consistent decline in values and attitudes across the country. So if we're going to be sorry for anybody, we need to be sorry for Jamaica. Now, what we need from all of us here, and I know we have laughed and we have, had some jokes and stuff, is to seriously, intelligently look at the situation and ask ourselves the question, what are we doing to promote good governance in Jamaica? Are we in fact a part of the problem or are we a part of the solution? When you have intelligent people like yourselves come on platforms like these and don't help the Jamaican people to distill and understand the level of corruption that is a part of our systemic political system and ask the question, how do we break this down and break the gridlock on our economy and give the Jamaican people a chance to actually realize their full potential? It is a pity, a real pity, that we have made politics into a theater. It's more like a game, and we're just a part of this sport arena, like you go to watch boys champs and who going to win, which of the two, and it's a game. This is not a game for the people who are suffering and struggling in this country. And if you look carefully at what is happening, look at what is happening. Right now, the Jamaican who has saved in this country for 25 years, who have worked hard and saved in this country, at retirement, they will have absolutely nothing because the value of their savings would have been completely wiped out. They're going home to face a pension check that is going to be worthless. They're going to wake up to a healthcare system that they should be more afraid of than wanting to go to for any form of medical care. This is a serious development in our country, and I think it's time for us who have an opportunity to communicate with Jamaican people to actually get involved, get engaged in analyzing for them the problem and the solution. And Selburn, the solution cannot be that we continue to elect GLP and PNP.
You know something? When you said it a while ago, there is ethics, because when you look at the hospitals, you know what it sweet me in COVID was when all them politicians and them high profile people were getting COVID, and because they're not used to using the dirty public hospital, and they can fly to Miami, and then Miami too had the COVID. And they couldn't go there. We haven't learned anything from the pandemic because the politicians, they don't take the buses. I've never seen a politician on a JUTC bus. I have never seen their children going to certain schools. They do not use the hospitals. So the class system of Jamaica is you have, every day for the thief. I wonder when it's going to be for the owner. I wonder when the people are going to wake up, as you say, because, you remember the Panama Papers when they leaked? I'm speaking about media and ethics. When the Panama Papers leak, an IT consultant had this information and chose to say that these people are stealing, they are corrupt, they're doing money laundering. I'm gonna rat it out. I'm gonna find some system to get this information out there, right? And the media, it's some media that helped to put it out there unseen. So I'm saying to the media now, I'm not blaming you, but I'm saying that I've got an onus to educate the people. You have got an onus, and you're under ethics. You're governed by ethical rules. So all of this corruption, the politicians as well, lawyers are in the parliament, journalists are in the parliament, all these educated people in our society. Yet our society is just going down and down and down. It cannot continue.
Let's go ahead. Some feedback, but go ahead, please.
I don't think it is proper for you to allow Venessa to say these things, because Venessa cannot show one Jamaica, I can speak for the Jamaica Labour Party politician who was laundering money or hiding money in an illicit.
I never said so. I gave an example of how an IT consultant used ethics, and even here in England, Boris, the Prime Minister, was custodian in Parliament.
One second,
offshore. So why are you not wanting to protect to come and be the lawyer of the politicians? I never blamed them. I gave an example of how ethics and media works from giving an. Do you want me to give a politician? Do you want me to give a political example?
Okay, let's go closer. Okay, Vanessa, you're gonna mute you now for a second.
Thank you. Mute me, please.
She says certain things that is not true.
Yeah, listen. Just if you keep going back to her, listen. If you keep going back to her at times, she will have to respond. But let's sort of not say what is. Let's say I don't think it is true. I don't know. I try to work it away. Like I don't know. Yeah.
But that's not what I want to say, Silbert. If you have a Democratic platform, you have a Democratic platform.
All right.
No, what I'm saying is that just like how Michael Manley, without social media, became one of the most popular persons in the world in terms of our political figure. When I hear our goodly, honorable friend here, Mr. Patterson, is saying that the media is not giving him a fair chance. Michael Manley did it without social media.
EJ Patterson.
He has no excuse. Edward Siaga did it. Right? All I'm saying is for
the world media there was speaking up for
but their messaging. Look, listen. You see the Jamaica Labour Party for me. But I'm saying that Manley was charismatic. Manley got across his message. Right? So what I would like the Honorable Mr. Patterson to do is not just blame the tools, right? But be a better workman. That's all I'm saying. Right? Because you have to. When I first heard about UIC, just like Damien, I went and I listened and I said, "No man, them man sound good, man." But after a while, I started to say, "What is the practicality of some of these things?" And it just was not adding up. What I'm saying now, the Jamaica Labour Party has done has a remarkable track record. Is everything perfect? No. But when you look at some of the things that they have done, has never been done in the history of Jamaica. And I'm a Siaga man. And some things that Andrew has done, Siaga not even come close to doing these things. So we should not.
Let's talk
We
about them. What are they? What are they?
Hold on. We should not throw out the baby with the bathwater.
List a few of them. Let's talk about a few of them. Let's talk about a few of them.
We should not throw out the baby with the bathwater. We should highlight the things that have gone right, but also highlight the things that can be improved on. That's
And
all.
Let's talk about them. Let's talk about a few of them. Tell me one.
You expect somebody who want to become government to highlight.
Tell me one of the things that you've done. Let's talk about it. Take a few of them. Three things.
Let's say three things. Or
three things.
For Mr.
Just three. Number one. What has he done?
Let's say you muted.
No.
I did. Okay, sorry.
So there's three things, Lester. The marvelous things, the exceptional things he has done. The dollar? Manage the dollar very well? Is it the dollar?
Come on, Mr. Patterson. Come on.
Is it crime?
I don't have to do that.
Is it education? Or is it healthcare? Which of them? Tell me the marvelous job he has done.
Someone said the whole program.
The what?
Right.
The whole program?
Someone said the whole program.
Since you're pushing that, right? The PMP has had.
No.
But ask the question. Could you allow me to answer you? Or you want me to answer you? Okay, tell me how I can answer you. Because I'm trying to answer your question. Allow me, sir.
Go ahead.
The People's National Party have this country for 18 continuous years, right? And we have had dilapidated police stations, dilapidated fire stations, roads that have never been fixed, right? And this was under a period when the world was growing, right? We never had no recession or anything. Andrew Holness came in power when things were very, very sticky. Very sticky. When we were under IMF program, when we are coming out of a crisis that Omar Davis created. And what he did, he and Nigel Clark, they crafted a budget. They have no new taxes. They have given back.
Stop there. Let's do one at a time. No new tax. Let's talk about that. No.
That's
one at a time. Because what you're doing now, what you're doing is, Lester, what you're doing is right? There we go.
Mr. Moderator.
No, I can't moderate this one. Really.
Let's take them one at a time. So you've just mentioned one. He has crafted a budget of no new taxes. The threshold of 1.5 million. How much of that value is still here with the people today? The so-called tax savings that they had when he crafted that budget, how much of that value, how much of that purchasing power is here today? Stop. Don't talk yet. Hold on. With the inflation we have now, how much new GCT taxes has he now brought in because of that inflation? With the higher prices and the 15% of that higher prices, how much new revenues he has gotten? Hold on, continue. One more piece. Watch this carefully. The increase in fees that he has charged for the various penalties and fines and transaction fees that he has, how much new revenues have that brought him? And on top of this, him appointing the police to be everywhere now to find everything wrong, especially with the fitness on vehicles. After him bad road, mash up people's vehicles, and then him turn around and police pull them off and charge them for it. How much no new taxes is that? So number one, your no new taxes has failed. Number two, what's the next item?
No. The no new taxes haven't failed.
Totally failed.
Because they have not. But what I'm saying that Jamaica is not the only country that has been affected by inflation, right? We don't operate in a bubble, right?
Are you saying that Jamaica does not have an economic policy? We're at the mercy of the global economy. Our government has no place in managing the economy. They have no place in cushioning inflation. They have no place in monetary policy. To have monetary policy that protects the value of our dollar and monetary policies that protect the purchasing power of Jamaican. You're saying government has no role in this, and therefore we don't need to vote for anybody, because whether it's Andrew or Mark or Joseph, the inflation rate will be the same no matter who is in power. So why do you want us to vote for Andrew if it doesn't matter who is in power?
Okay. All right. Let's draw breaks. Let's draw breaks a second now.
Silburn,
No, I'm letting you speak now, Lester, and then we're gonna go to the next segment. Lester, finish what you're saying.
Put something to Mr. Patterson though.
No, Lester, say what you're saying, Lester. I want you to speak.
Okay.
Number 3.
No.
No more.
No. One thing with me, you nor anybody don't dictate how I speak. I'm being very respectful on this platform, right? No, the 1.5 serve a purpose for that time, and persons benefited from it. Many PMP persons came forward publicly and said that this was beneficial to them, right? But you can't expect that things are going to be standardized and stay one place, right? Even the Netherlands is the 10th richest country in the world, and we are having problems here also, and I'm rich, right? Right now, flour, they're selling 1 pack of flour per customer. So don't act as if that the government can control inflation. No, that's not how it works, and you know that too. And to say that, you're not being very. No. I'm saying,
I'm an accountant, so I know how inflation works.
You're not presenting the full factual situation of how economies are run, because of a small fragile economy. But as a small fragile economy, you know, Mr. Patterson, that bigger economies affect smaller economies.
Would you like me to tell you how we could have combated inflation? Would I tell you how we could have done that?
I realize that you don't want me to go on to number 2 and number 3, but guess what? I will stop talking, right? I can mention 100 million.
And Mr. Patterson is entitled.
May I have a second, please?
Okay, 1 second. Before we go to 2nd, let me just play some music.
Okay,
One second. Have a drink.
Fire! Have a drink, man.
Have a drink. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining tonight. That was a break. So let's again and have a drink. And wait. And thank you so much for Mr. Patterson for joining tonight into the program tonight, which is what the Baxide. Let's say you're having some feedback there. I guess everybody's trying to talk to your PNTJ. Everybody's trying to talk to you. That's why we have all these.
This guy's entitled to talk, you know, it's a free democracy.
No. I'm saying lots of feedback is coming through Leicester, so everybody's trying to come through Leicester. I want to go to DP, and then I want to let Mr. Patterson, because I need to go say something else after Mr. Patterson leave. I just want Mr. Patterson to have his last word as well. DP, say what you're saying, sir.
Sir Patterson, so let me add one on Leicester's list. I think a good thing was the completion of the IMF agreement was done under Andrew Oneil, which is something that he had inherited. What's your take on that?
No, well, you see, the IMF agreement is simply Jamaica under the PNP and GLP having failed the Jamaican people and having to resort to the IMF. And then they further failed the Jamaican people in terms of passing the IMF test, you know. So you're asking me, you get something wrong on your term paper and you're sent back to correct it, and you go and correct it and you want to be applauded for it. You understand? So they have messed up our economy and they have borrowed money from the IMF. And then they squandered that money. They then got us to pay it back through all form of sufferation. And then they said, clap me for having caused you to suffer to pay back for what we messed up. You might recall that whether it's on the Bustamante administration of 1962 or the Manley administration of 72 or the Siaga administration of the 80s, all of them racked up a mountain of debt on the Jamaican people. And it's we the people, not those politicians. We pay for it. That is why the leadership of those two parties can have very, very big mansions and lofty living standards, while the rest of Jamaica is a wreck because they have benefited from borrowing money on our heads and forcing us to pay back that money. So the IMF test passing is not a pass in my book. I'm very happy that we have gone from one period to the next and Jamaica's debt came down somewhat, but we're now shifting those borrowing to the Chinese. So we'll have another thing to deal with. We're going to be like Sri Lanka in a few years.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you don't know that the bypass in St. James is Jamaican money, footing that and not from China?
Hold on. It doesn't matter which, for example, the last budget, 13.5% of it is new debt. So whether you're saying Jamaica is paying for it or not, it's 13.5% of new debt. You might use that debt to pay salaries instead of build roads, but it's still new debt. You understand? So Jamaica's debt problem continues, but it's like what PJ Patterson did in the 1990s, where he
one question
hold on. PJ said, no more IMF. We're done with IMF. You remember that? And what Jamaica suffered from after that was the high interest rate policy, which killed more than 40,000 Jamaican businesses and put thousands out of work.
I have
and left
two
us in the
final
net.
questions for you. One, what is the current debt that Jamaica have right now?
What is the current debt that we have right now?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What over $2 trillion? Well, just under $2 trillion. Just under $2 trillion.
All right. How soon, if you win election tomorrow morning, your party is going to get rid of that debt?
Oh, I don't know. I can't tell you that. How can I tell you how soon we're going to get rid of the debt? What
but
I can
it's
tell
going to be
you
better if you win tomorrow morning, right?
Absolutely. What we're going to have tomorrow morning after you elect the UIC is the beginning of good governance.
That's
we're
a
not
fallacy.
God enough. We're not God. What we are, we're committed to good governance. We're committed to good policies. We're committed to a Jamaica which is not controlled by the oligarchs, but is controlled by the Jamaican people.
I hear you, sir.
Well, Mr. Patterson, listen, I want to thank you so much for at such short notice to come in and just give you a perspective, sir. And I'm sure Lester and everyone appreciate that. I hope to get the Prime Minister of Jamaica. Lester is going to sort him out to come on next week, and I hope to get Mr. Golding as well. Venessa is going to sort that out as well.
Who, Mr. Golden?
Mr. Golden, Mr. Golden.
Mark Golden?
Mark Golden, yeah, you're going to sort that out.
I don't know anything about Mark Golden or Andrew Holness.
Just say yes.
I want to be rid of the two of them. I'm not even going to joke about. I want them gone.
Dennis, I want to mute you. Just say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Say yes.
Me? I'm not even saying yes. I don't want to see them. I want to contact them.
Mr. Patterson, before you go, Mr. Patterson, in 2 minutes, what is happening in Jamaica now with these different strike or whatever like that? What's your general take on it? Because I have to let you go. Venessa, I just want Mr. Patterson to finish off.
First of all, let me say that I'm looking forward to you having Mark Golden and Andrew Holness on your program. Yes. And I hope when they do agree to come on, that you have me on at the same time, so we can have some of these spirited discussions. But in terms of the current situation we have here today, right now in Jamaica, it's really, there are lots of things at play. Let's not fool ourselves. There's politics at play. And there are people who are really hurting. The people in the public sector and the private sector, the workers, those who depend on a regular paycheck, those who don't have any connections, those who are not getting any form of special privileges from being in political connections, they're suffering.
Sorry, someone just said, Andrew, I have no time for foolishness. I hope they don't believe and think that Andrew Holness is too big for this program.
Andrew Holness, their party, Imam Baxide Grange, but them celebrate 60 years at Canada.
I just wanted to address that point.
I want to address the party keeping. If you're celebrating 60 years of Jamaica, you should be encouraging everybody to come home to celebrate. Why is Andrew Holness and Baxide Grange on a plane in Canada, America, and England, them celebrating and spending our money, and they're all about the place looking for what is it, jobs in the,
let Mr. Patterson finish this point.
Commonwealth.
Thank you, Venessa.
They need to come home and mind their own business and stop partying.
I must say, Selburn, and the rest of you gentlemen, I'm very impressed by the intellect of Venessa. She has a really good grasp and understanding of the situation here in Jamaica, and we need more people like her to bring to light the challenges. But to your point, to your question, the Jamaican people are suffering. And so you're going to see more and more of these strike actions. You're now seeing it in the public sector, but you're also going to have unrest in the private sector because the cost of living is fast outstripping the earnings of persons. If the ordinary family spent $10,000 on a basket of grocery 2 years ago, they're now spending $20,000 for that same
Andrew
basket
basket
of
when you
grocery.
swing government?
Yes.
Sorry, Venessa. I muted
And
Venessa. Sorry.
and not only are they spending more on grocery, they're spending more on transportation. They're also faced with huge increases in the cost of healthcare. They cannot afford the books and accessories for their students going to school. And so the truth of the matter is you're going to have more and more public unrest over the next 3 years. It's not going to get any better until the Jamaican people can afford to respect, right now they cannot respect the government because they know that it's a corrupt government, so they have no respect for them, they have no confidence in them, and so the people are going to more and more protest. I believe that we should expect the people of Jamaica, if given the chance, by virtue of the nature of our politics work, if given the chance, you're going to see for the first time in the history of Jamaica a third party winning a few seats in the next election. And I'm going to be proud of the Jamaican people for making the wise choice of no longer depending on two that have failed them for 78 years.
Yeah. Mr. Patterson, I want to thank you so much for that. And Lester, I know you want to say something, but tonight, let's give Mr. Patterson the opportunity to speak. And because most times we don't get that opportunity. I'm hearing so many feedback here. I don't know what it is. But Mr. Patterson, I want to thank you so much for joining tonight. And I wish you all the best. And I hope you have picked up as well the comments from Jamaicans.
Yes, I've seen the
they're all Jamaicans. They're all
I've seen the
Jamaicans.
comments, and I
Lester's
welcome
view, DP view, the different person's view, Venessa views, Garry view, whether they say you should sorry for yourself or what. But I trust that you'll take on board the message and how the message is crafted as well to generate an interest. I have an interest, and that is why I always reach out to you, sir, to come onto my platform, because I believe in enlarging your voice, the PNP voice, the JLP voice. Doesn't matter which one to me. I'm not biased. I'm in the UK here. People might say I'm affiliated to different parties, but I'm only affiliated to the Conservative Party in the UK. To me, it doesn't make a big difference. I'm straight out of Ochi, and I'm saying Mr. Ochi man, you know. And I just want to thank you so much for that, and have all the best, sir. Okay.
my pleasure. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Elburn,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to put on my editor's cap in a newsroom. This is why you don't hear Mr. Patterson on the news, because all I heard, it sound like an echo chamber from the all the points made. That is the talking point I hear from the PMP and the talk show every day.
Yeah. Well, so I tell you what,
hearing somebody repeat it, this would be like Lester says something and then I back it up, and Lester says and then I back it up. That's what I heard. Nothing new.
Yeah. So and what I'm glad about is that he was able to listen and to hear Lester's view, Garry's view, Venessa's view, DP view, different persons speaking, and I believe that is the best way how things can generate. But I wanted to go on one thing, and I just wanted to touch on Kevin Samuels before we go. I know it's a toxic subject there, you know.
Long live the king.
Who is that? Kevin Samuels. Garry, you know Kevin Samuels.
I've heard a little of him, but I never really followed him.
All right, listen to this.
I know some of them get pissed. I've heard women on YouTube saying things that they don't watch the show end to end. And I'm not going to, and that's not going to change anything, because there are far more women and far women who are listening. And who are the recipients? The women who listen end to end and are saying, well, you changed my life, you look at this way or that way. Those women are benefiting. And guarantee when those women come into contact with men doing something, they all benefit. We're better off working with each other, trying to understand one another. You know, none of us are perfect. Certainly not me. I ain't shit. I got a lot of problems. It's like anybody else. We all got issues. But just like Ice Cube, when the brother steps up to do something, Support. Find ways to support. Even if you have an issue with something it's doing, can you find 4 or 5 things about it that you like before you start off with the one thing you don't like? Because you cannot keep painting black men in this ain't shit box. They don't all fit there. And brothers are starting to push back and say, no, 51% of us are single and childless and 64% in the middle class. They're here. Can you interact with them just in a peaceful, civil way? If you never get married and never have kids, can you have a higher quality of life? Can you just be happy? Can you stop walking through life with your hands up ready to fight the reflection of you, the opposite sex reflection of you? I don't walk through life looking at black women as though they're my enemy. And I would hope that for the black women who this applies, you stop walking through life assuming that black men are somebody to challenge, is somebody to overcome, to struggle against. We don't need that.
What's your take on Kevin Samuel? I need to address someone first. Norma Ellis. I said this is not a platform for Kevin Samuels. Sorry, Norma Ellis. This is my platform, and I choose to put Kevin Samuels on this platform. Okay. Thank you very much, Lester. What's your take on Kevin Samuels? Oh, sorry. Muted. Lester.
Yeah. Kevin is a genius, and what Kevin stands for is the unification of the black family. Kevin wants young black women to think and act accordingly in decency. He don't want black women to be going around having multiple children outside of wedlock, right? And not having a stable family structure, a stable man in their life. Also, he wants women to be women, not to be very masculine, not to be very aggressive, but to be submissive and friendly, and to be a compatible person, compatible partner to a well chosen male. He also put a lot of pressure, more pressure, and he stings males a whole lot more than he stings women, right? He's more harsh to males because he wants.
Vanessa, you speak. Let me hear something. What's that? That's a gremlin there. Okay, Lester, go on.
Yeah. So he wants males to be males. He wants males to be leaders. He expects us to act, look, dress, speak like men, take care of our families, not to go around having multiple children and can't afford to feed them and to clothe them, and to not be and have principles of what decency and a man is expected to be. Also, he's into gender fairness, right? If a woman think that she can do this, right, that means that the woman must expect that a man to do the equal thing to her also. Don't do things that say I'm a woman, so I can do this or say this. No, right? Kevin Samuels is what the black community needed to realign the black community, right? To get us on path of how we can excel as a community. And my last thing is Mr. Joseph Patterson, that will never happen. You'll never be voted in.
Okay. DP Kevin Samuels. Let's drop that one in.
Like I said, when you mention his name, long live the king. There are a lot of men who they were secretly listening to Kevin because maybe at work or on the way to work or home, because they epitomize the kind of man that Kevin was saying that we as black men should not be. You know, we need to take back our rightful place, you know, as leaders. I have a lot of strong female friends, and that is even the single ones. That is what they ask for. They want a man that can lead because they believe that a man is a leader. A man should be a leader. What we have now, a lot of men, they are followers, and women are uncomfortable with that. You know, there are women that want to be led. You understand them? Them get them education, them have them career, everything, and they want a strong man to be there. No woman, sensible woman, no want a man that them can just say jump on him ass so high. So Kevin was right for our community. And I just wish that, well, I don't have to wish because his work, he has put in enough that anybody, if you like him, you can find things to like. If you hate him, you can find things to hate. And I think he did a good job. Also, I think he was assassinated.
And Venessa, do you know Kevin?
Yeah, I've heard a little about him, but what I want to say is that each to his own. And as our journalist friend there said, that you can like him or you can hate him, but he did things his way. And for me, what I take from somebody from the society though, I would tie it in. I've got a song that I sing and it's called Soft Love.
Soft
And
love, yeah.
it's called soft love, and it's about the kind of love that is soft and gentle from both male and female. Because I say in the song that love is vulnerable, and people need to be vulnerable to each other, because I don't know, we can't have a relationship and we're having a hate campaign. If a lot of us were to be vulnerable and softer to each other and more understanding, our society would be gentler. And as Mr. Gentleman who is deceased, I'd call him Mr. Pinstripe because I like his pinstripe suit. That's what I like. He's always sharp. As he had said that women have changed into this hard kind of thing because of you know why the women changed? Because in the law had allowed you to beat a woman with a piece of stick no bigger than your thumb back in the olden days.
Yeah.
And women were legally allowed, men could chastise women, they could own all the property, and then the men, started abusing their powers, and the laws changed it back to give women some power. And now the women are, the boat is lopsided again. So to me, we need some soft love, soft love.
I saw a lady said, and I've seen a lot of this going around, and I don't know if anyone want to pick it up. What she said, I think she knows him very much, because she said he died after picking up a woman for a one night stand, and that was not living what he was asking us to live. I didn't know he was asking her to live a particular way, but maybe that was the case. And she had said as well, this lady Norma Ellis, that this is not the platform for Kevin Samuel. I don't know where she got that from. I didn't know that she was a part of my directorship and part of the producer for the show.
We're not recruiting her. She doesn't
she
want
said-
a strong man.
She said she has.
No,
She said
strong
she
man
said
syndrome.
she said he has hurt as many black women. Let's as
She
you
don't
heard,
like him.
I guess you don't like him. All right.
And that's the both side of one. She don't like him.
Gary, what's your take on the little bit of Kevin Samuels?
No, I can't comment on Kevin Samuels because I never really followed. I heard about him, but I never really followed him or listened to him. So I can't. It would be unfair for me to say anything about it.
Yes. Lester, sorry, Lester. My apologies, Lester. 1 second.
Yeah, Silver. To Miss Norma Ellis, we do respect your views, but when you're going to say that no one on here really followed Kevin, I have watched all of Kevin videos, all of them, and I'm not talking all of the since he has blown up big on YouTube. I'm talking from he was speaking to men for 3 years. I've gone all the way back and watched all of them, right? And if you had listened to my opening statement regarding Kevin, you would have seen or heard that I follow this man true and true. Now, to say that it is such a pity that you keep saying that he puts down black women. He speaks to black men and black women, and he has often asked couples or woman, how long you're dating this man?
Sorry, I'm sorry. She has issues. I like Kevin, but he's unbalanced, like this platform with more men than women. Norma Ellis,
he can manage all of them when you see it.
Norma Ellis, listen, Norma Ellis, I'm sorry.
Help me.
Sorry, listen, guys. I've been doing this from 2015, yeah? And I'm not going to have anybody come and dictate to me or I do my show. Norma Ellis, you can excuse yourself big time. Let's keep talking.
Yeah, Norma, please maintain. Please maintain respect. If you're going to participate, be respectful, Norma. Please. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
What I'm also saying, Norma, is that Kevin have said to men, how long you're dating this woman? 3 years. He said, why haven't you married this woman? If you're with a woman, as a man, 6 months time, you know whether you want to be with this woman for the rest of your life. So he said, you don't need a big wedding. You go down to the city hall and pay for the marriage certificate and get married, right? He said you can have the ceremony 2 years after. You don't need that. He has always put the black man and the black woman together. He's always said, ladies, don't sleep around with a man for 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, and not be married and having children, and then this man just gone about in business. He said, no. If you're with a man and after 2 years, or if you have a child, 2 years shouldn't pass, and this man don't put a ring on your finger.
Yeah.
So when Norma and other person go saying that he's tearing on the black women, he has always said to the black woman, the responsibility is on you. If you're with this man and he doesn't want to step forward and marry you, walk away from this man. That is not tearing on the black woman. That is being responsible. Am I right, Garry?
Yeah. You see,
Right? So we have to be his delivery, Garry, his delivery is harsh. His delivery is hard to swallow. But once you consume enough of his content, you understand that all he wants is decency, and he wants the black people to act and to uplift themselves together.
The bitter medicine like Andrew him hard. Bitter medicine.
Yeah, bitter medicine sometimes doesn't taste nice, but it's good for you. I must say in closing.
Jamaica
Though,
get the bitter medicine now.
yeah.
Seriously?
I must say, sorry, DP, you're saying something?
Yeah, I was asking if I'm not getting one more talk.
Yeah, say what you
man.
say. Have one more talk, yeah.
So, but to Miss Ellis, a word from Kevin, the late Kevin Samuels. Accountability is kryptonite to females, and I'm going to add some of it. Females who took offense with Kevin platform was those that needed him most. It's just like a doctor. Whenever you have an ulcer or whatever, to get rid of that ulcer is not nice, soft, you just drink some milk, because the milk is just going to hide the pain temporarily. You need that surgery to go down and rake up and scrape off of your stomach. You understand? So stuff like Kevin telling females to maintain your virginity until the man is serious. Don't just feel like you're 15 and 16 and because the law say you can give up your virginity, I say go ahead and do it. Save this. Don't go outside in bonnets and looking like some whatever. Be presentable. And I've tested something that he said, I personally tested. Just see a black lady and just wave to her and smile. And she gave me this look like, what the hell are you looking at me for? And it's like, why a black man have to pay to get a smile from a black woman? You know, why was this hatred? One lady, and this is kind of the final thing I'm going to say, he asked this lady on his platform, do you have a daughter? She said, yes. He said, what age? She said, 13. And he said, what is it that you're teaching your daughter currently about men? And all she said was negative. Stay away from men. Men are users, men are abusive. And Kevin sent something to me that I didn't figure out. Well, he said something on his platform. You have a lot of women now who they're not raising their daughters to be wives, because their plan is they do not want their daughters to have a family because they're going to be excluded. And because they haven't saved enough money for their retirement, they want to be able to move in with them daughter and become the expense of their daughter.
Sure, but it's true. It's true.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm saying is there are females who did not want to hear the truth. Like, for example, you have 3 kids. You now say you want to get married. Do you want a husband or do you want a stepfather? Most women with 3 kids will tell you that I don't want another one. Kevin asked one, how many times you cook now? She said 3. He asked her, if you get married now, how many more times would you cook? And she said, maybe 1 more. So Kevin said, okay, you expect this man to come, take care of you and 3 other kids. You may give him an extra meal. How is that beneficial to him? So like I say, females who hate him, I have family members, close friends who, when I say Kevin Samuels, I see that look of scorn. You're one of those idiots listening to him? But guess what? Lester can tell you. All of the shame, insult, whatever them good Kevin, I got them because people say me hate women, I'm a homosexual and all of them something just because what me have to say. We want to help our community. Yeah. We want a community. I believe that black men and black women need each other. I don't think that because you're a woman and you have a vagina, you're better than a black man. You know what I'm saying? So the truth is, what Kevin did, he told poor, not poor, but broke ass black men to get up and go work and make have something valuable so females can want you. And he told females to wake up to reality. Most black women say they want a man who's making 6 figures. And what is it that they're offering? What is it that they're bringing to the table? Nothing. So
you see, one of the things I saw somebody just said, Michelle saying that he's doing a GoFundMe. I understand that's not true about the GoFundMe. Lester, you want to come in on that bit?
Oh my
but GoFundMe is not from Kevin's family or it's some scammer people. But that is not true, right? And you see, this is it. People hear something and then
I
run
love
with it. Right? No, but she just said, Melissa just said that he's not living what he was preaching.
I
Okay,
can't speak.
oh hold on. Let us say that it's true. What he was preaching, was it truth? Because if the message can help you, you
Don't
should be
shoot the
willing to
messenger. Take the
what the
message.
person doing.
Yes.
Take the message and improve your life,
Yeah.
right?
What you want
Because
out of me?
okay, if I am a gangster, right, and I sell narcotics, and then I use the proceeds of my money to help people, build churches, and improve people's lives and stuff like that. Are you
Rob
saying
Road.
I'm not? I don't understand what people are saying. Take the message and improve your life. Do what Kevin is doing or has done.
Yeah. Well, guys, listen. I think the message for Kevin is what should I say? Important in a time like this. Toxic message, but sometimes toxic message is very good. But one thing that I've picked up as well, and sometimes I've been criticized for having more men on the show. But there's a period, guys, where there was more women on the show, and people were criticizing me and say, "Where are the men?" And then people were talking about where are the men, where are the men? And then finally, I started having men on the show, and people are saying, "Where's the woman?" To the point whereby I said, "Well, I'm in a business about nobody, man. Let me just build the men. Let me just, if it's just pure men on the show, it is better pure men on the show." To the point that less than I've been speaking, that I'm going to launch something with men, and it's going to be because of Kevin has triggered that in me to do that. I'm in no business about nobody. I'm in no business about no woman, say, right? This is about men to be strong men to be leaders, men to take control of their destiny and stuff like that. Me no business when a woman say about that. I'm a married man. Me all right, I'm trying to say, but I want men to stand up and to be counted, right? That's all I'm saying. Me no business, me no response. One life to live, right, Garry? We need to straighten out then. We need to straighten out.
Garry, I go up to Film Wife tonight, And Film Wife might be a strong woman. She might not be like Shelly. So my
No. They're family. They're family. No, they're family, man.
Reverend, sit, go drink water and mind your business.
All right.
We have the Holy Spirit, man. We have the Holy Spirit, the strongest,
Holy Spirit,
strongest ship you can get.
strong man thing.
Gary, you need to pump it up, Gary.
Listen, I don't want her to be banned from my show. I don't want Garry to be banned from my show. DP, listen, have a good night, yeah?
Thank you.
Yeah, let's thank you so much again.
DP,
And
Vanessa,
Vanessa, thank you.
Vanessa.
Thank you as well for having me.
And thank you for everyone that come on to the show as well.
Big up Nama. Big up Nama.
Big up Nama. Yeah, big up everybody. And I'm trying to say,
I miss Veta.
What Veta them on? What Veta them on today?
I don't know. I think she wasn't that well, actually. I think she wasn't that well.
I really miss Veta tonight, yeah, man.
And
I must give a shout out to Deanne and to Michelle. I know that they did shout out to me and I didn't respond, but it's not anything. The show was too active. Venessa was too active, man. So we couldn't say nothing more.
My mute button worked a lot. But all right, take care, Garry. Take care, Venessa. Venessa, sorry, you just launched something. Oh, she's gone. Okay.
Oh no, I'm there. I'm here.
Wait, tell us about your launch. You launched your album or something?
My album launch, Love, Life and Reggae. It's gonna be out soon. My new lead single, Life Goes On. It's about having hope no matter what difficulty you're going through in a difficult time. The lead single is out. It's called Life Goes On, and the album will follow soon. Love, Life and Reggae. And I believe that the launch itself will be streamed by Silburn Sidial on this platform.
Okay, wow. Well, what can I say? You put me on the spot.
Put you on the spot.
All right, Venessa, listen, have a good night, yeah?
Same to you.
Keep it the soft love. Okay, bye-bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining tonight. And it was a great show. Just to let you know, Dian, if you are I just realized that if you're speaking from Instagram, it doesn't come up on the main thing through Restream as it's a third party. I just realized that tonight. So all your messages wasn't coming through on Restream, only on Instagram. That's the thing. It's a very interesting show tonight, and the show which we had Mr. Joseph Patterson, the president of UIC, United Independent Congress. That's the third Jamaican party. And he was able to listen to the views of different persons who align to different parties. Jamaica is a country which is made up of different party structures. And I think it was very important when people are saying that the message that he's giving is not coming through. And if that's the case, then maybe that needs to be crafted up a bit more as much as possible. It is very concerning what is happening in Jamaica, and it's the reason why we titled the show, what was it? Or what the backside? Actually it was D, it wasn't me. It was D who coined that, what the backside and stuff like that. But I think we got some very powerful information. I would like to see the UIC party to be invited to things like the diaspora launch, official engagements, separate and apart from the press. I think it would be very good. It will show a strike balance. It will show that the press fraternity is ensuring that all Jamaicans can hear everything. That is why in this platform, my platform, which I've created with my sweat and my bro from 2015, is there to share information that people may like, information that people may not like. But the most important thing is to get the information out there. I hope to get the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, who I've interviewed a couple of times. I've interviewed Mark Golding as well. I hope to get Mark Golding as well to come on to talk and to share his views as well. There's always a saying that little people always grow. Remember how you go, like this beautiful musical named La Miserable. Remember how you go, because little people grow. So some persons might be very small now, or their numbers may be low, but with the consistency and the persistency and the passion, you'll be surprised how things evolve eventually. And finally, touching base on Kevin Samuels, I know he's a toxic figure, a toxic subject, but hey, I like toxic figure, I like toxic subjects, and I believe it is very important. Respect to different views, what people may have, but really and truly, that's their view. And as for me and for men, I really have such a strong passion for men, black men, to rise up, to be strong, and to be accountable, and to have leadership, and to know, and to strengthen, and to be masculine, to be men. Society is making men to be feminine a lot now. They feel like they cannot speak. So what creating safe spaces as well. Triggered by Kevin Samuels, yes, the positive aspect, the positive virtues. And just because someone's life may not be perfect, sometimes they are used to generate message. And that is why you have preachers sometimes speak the word of God, but their life is not perfect, because no man is perfect. No man is an island. Therefore, the message is what is important. Can we take that message? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Silburn. Talking Sip. See you next time, Saturday night, Thursday night. Join me on In Review. And all the best. Look out for my walk and talk as well. And all the best. Peace out. Thank you very much. All the best. Thank you, Norma. Bye-bye.